People ask all the time, who should be on my board of directors? It just came to me. It's the easiest thing. Who would you invite to Thanksgiving dinner? That's it. Those are your people closest to you. That's your board.
Well. Uncle Eddie has to come to Thanksgiving, but I don't want him on my board of advisors. I am not taking his advice.
Fair enough. Uncle Eddie, questionable. But I think it's a great place to start. And yeah, sometimes the people you don't want advice from is your family. I get it. But if you want to write off the plane ticket or the cost of the RV for Uncle Eddie to come, you could put him on the board and just not listen to him. But you got a write-off, to have him there. Welcome, everybody, to another episode of the Main Street Business Podcast. I'm here with the amazing Mat Sorensen on a topic we love, the Family Board Meeting. Oh my gosh, this is like one of my passion projects.
Yeah, and we think this is so important for your asset protection, for your tax planning, for the sake of your business and the growth and the future. We're going to get into all these benefits.
The list goes on and on.
There's 7.
Yeah.
Like David Letterman's top 10 back in the day, we've got the top 7, and it's better than David Letterman's top 10.
Oh, it is. This is going to be good. We're going to walk you through as well how to do it, and why, but then 7 benefits, direct and indirect, that come from this process. So let's just define what we're talking about here first. Why don't we do that? So what we're talking about is if you're a business owner, frankly, I'd even go with the point, I don't even care if you have an LLC or a corporation. You have a business, and you need to be doing better planning and communication with your family members. Now, this could be a spouse. It could be teenage kids, older adult children. It could be your parents. It could be your best friend. When I say family, I'm talking, who do you hang out with? Wouldn't you think it'd be helpful to share with them what your business is about and maybe get their advice and support? So we'll get into those benefits. But the point is, you're holding a meeting regarding your business. And if you have an LLC or a corporation, this meeting is your annual meeting that could easily be on one sheet of paper. But it could be more than that, we'll explain. But it's easily one sheet of paper of, we're having a meeting, we're complying with state law, creating separation between our individual person and our business entity. We're going to put it in our corporate book, and we're going to make sure we're compliant with the state on renewal fees or anything I need to do at the state website. But this process of the board meeting is kind of the impetus of that regulatory process that comes with having an LLC or corporation. And you don't have to be super rich, family office, Microsoft to do this. Every small business owner should be doing it.
Yes, even if you've got a side hustle or a rental property, whatever it might be, think about this for your business once a year. I mean, Mark and I have certain companies, they have a lot of employees. We do quarterly meetings.
We have one this Friday.
Yes, we have executive committee meetings in certain companies that are like once a week that have minutes and stuff when we're recording this and we're tracking this and we're getting input and we're discussing ideas and plans and everything. And I think for the small business owner, a lot of times you just don't think about these things. You're like, well, I am the business and it's a small operation. Maybe I don't even have employees, but you know who's involved? Your spouse, if you got one, your other family members, your friends that you're talking about. And we're saying, let's just be a little more formal about this and at least do something once a year where you're going over these items that are critical for your business that are going to help you. And it's not just about the taxes and the asset protection. It's about being a better business owner too, and planning and being more strategic.
So I guess that's what it is. And how you do it is you get all together break some bread, have some food, and you're going to sit down for 30 minutes to 3 hours or more and have this meeting that you document in writing. You do not turn that writing into the IRS or the state. It goes in your book, your corporate book that you all should have. This is a reminder that one sheet of paper from LegalZoom may not be, it is not sufficient for an entity, and you want to be doing that.
And can I say there's 2 instances at least where this comes into use and where you may actually be required to produce your minutes, even for your LLC. In a corporation, you're required to do this by statute, but even in LLC, most states are silent on whether you need to do this or not, but you're going to be asked for this. If the IRS audits you, they're going to ask for this. That's on the request list if your company gets audited, is the annual minutes. The other instance is you have a lawsuit against you. The company ends up in court and you've got a lawsuit against the company. They're going to say, hey, we want to see the annual minutes. Why does a plaintiff's lawyer ask for that, Mark? Why do they want the minutes of your company?
Have you been treating your company like your own personal bank account or treating it like a real freaking company?
Yeah.
Well, the minutes tell the story. I would even say there's a third reason. You're going to maybe sell your business. Maybe you're going in for an SBA loan.
Yes.
Maybe you're getting going through annual reviews with a regulatory agency because of some industry issue. They're going to ask for this stuff. I mean, this could be a payroll audit. It could be maybe a DOPL, a Department of Professional Licensing issue as a contractor. Are you doing these meetings to show safety hazard, blah, blah, blah stuff?
It's so funny you brought that one up because we have our company, Main Street Business Services, where we have a service that's company compliant. We do your minutes for you every year. We even give you templates. You're going to be able to automate this and do it online after you hold the meeting.
It's super expensive, though. It's $200.
Yeah.
I mean, sorry.
$200 a year.
Yeah, sorry. Yep, damage is done.
Yeah, and we take care of it for you. We also handle your renewal, make sure your company stays in good standing through the year, so you don't have to worry about that. But we just had a client recently sign up for this, and you know why the reason they did it? They were getting a line of credit, and they're saying, we need your minutes for the last 3 years for your company. And they're like, my what? So they're like, can I sign up, and can you help me do my minutes the last 3 years? Yes. We can help you get that stuff in order and get it going, and obviously get you going the right way moving forward.
And did you hear that, everybody? I'm telling you, it does not have to be expensive, and it can be really easy to do. We have an automation for this we're rolling out before Christmas, too, of being able to do this on your iPad as you have your family board meeting, and we charge $200 a year for all these pieces and parts we're going to talk about here. But that's the process. So you're going to do this for a variety of important reasons. Go through it, document it. It's an internal document. It's there when requested. Okay, now let's start with these benefits. Why am I going to go through this headache? I'm going to go to the first one. That's probably the biggest motivator. I know we talk about asset protection and an audit, but most of you are like, blah, blah, blah. You know what I love? This is a freaking awesome tax write-off. You're going to meet maybe on a Thursday in November, have an important board meeting, fly in your board members, and have an important board meeting and have some turkey dinner after, and write off the whole damn trip because you flew in board members. You're having potential Airbnbs down the street of all your board members. You're going to go to Costco and buy all sorts. I love yams. I'm a big yam fan.
Yeah,
I really am.
That really goes over well at a board meeting.
It does. Board meetings, turkey and yams, always a winner. Better decision making. And you get to write it all off, people. That's what I'm talking about. This is a tax deductible event. And if you do it legitimately on a regular basis, because you need to as a business, every time you do it is a write-off. We're just saying do it at least once a year. But I love that as my number one reason.
Yeah, and I think for many of you, they're like, well, who's on my board? I mean, who's coming to this meeting, you know? In a corporation, you actually have a formal thing in a lot of states called a board of directors, where if you have, let's say, an S corporation is an actual corporation, you put these on your corporate documents. We would have done that in our law firm, KQS Lawyers, when we're setting up your entity. Who do you want on your board? We at least want to get your spouse on there. Mark talked about maybe you've got some adult kids, or you've got the the parents, you've got the family, the brother, the friend, whatever. We add them to the board. But even you LLCs, you can have what's called a board of advisors. They're not really a director. LLCs don't have a board of directors in statute. Now, many LLCs that are big companies have a formal board that they adopt, but that has actual authority and responsibility, and they get a paycheck and stuff like that. But you can do a board of advisors, which is very common in small businesses, where we say, hey, these are the people I want their advice and input. They don't have authority over me like a board of directors, but they have advisory roles and input where they're involved in the business. I get their input. We're going to meet at least once a year, as we're talking about here, have an annual board meeting of these advisors. And those people are going to be in the minutes. When we establish an entity at KQS Lawyers in our law firm, we are going to ask you, who do you want on your board of advisors? They're going to be on the documents from the beginning, so you can have them at the meeting and expense their travel, their participation.
You see me over here smiling. I am dying to share this. I've got a new idea, and I love it. And Jolie, this has got to be on our social media coming up here. Is people ask all the time, who should be on my board of directors? I just came to me. It's the easiest thing. Who would you invite to Thanksgiving dinner? That's it. That's it. Those are your people closest to you. That's your board. Well, who would come to Thanksgiving? Your best friend, your brother's. Could be on your board. Could be.
Well. Uncle Eddie has to come to Thanksgiving, but I don't want him on my board of advisors. I am not taking his advice.
Yeah, fair enough. Uncle Eddie, questionable. But I think it's a great place to start, because people are like, well, I'm single, or I'm this, or I'm that, and my family. And yeah, sometimes the people you don't want advice from is your family. I get it. But I think we could start with who's on the Thanksgiving
Who
invite
do you
list.
want at the Thanksgiving? Not who's coming, but who do you want? But there are some,
But if you want to write off the plane ticket or the cost of the RV for Uncle Eddie to come, you could put him on the board and just not listen to him. It's just like, oh, what do you think, Eddie? And then but you got a write off. To have him there.
I can get behind that
because I want to get him something real nice.
Yeah. So I bought you something. Clark, with your money.
Well, it's a tax write-off now because Clark, you're here for the board meeting.
There you go.
Yeah. All right. Now, that's one of my favorite reasons is this is a tax deductible event. But I think the primary, and this is 1, 2, and 3 are super close. Do you want to go with asset protection or IRS audit-proofing?
Yeah,
both so close.
Let me elaborate on the asset protection here. We touched on that a little bit. And if you were in a lawsuit, let's say this is your LLC in a lawsuit and something happened in the business, you get sued and there's some plaintiff. And one of the things that a plaintiff's lawyer is going to try to do is say, hey, this LLC doesn't have a lot of assets, right? This is an operating business. It doesn't have a lot of assets, or maybe it's a rental property and there's not a lot of equity there. Like, I got $1 million claim here. I want to go through this LLC called piercing the corporate veil, and I want to come after you personally. Well, one of the things we've seen in cases over the years when a lawyer's trying to do this, and this is in the cases that are reported too, is one of the things they'll ask for is they'll say, where's the company minutes? Even for LLCs or your corporation, say, we want to see those. Because that's one factor that shows you treated this business separate from your personal assets and what you do personally. And if I can show that the business had annual minutes, it had at least an annual meeting, I'm recording what's happening there, we're talking about business stuff. By the way, we're talking in jest about this Thanksgiving meeting. We're talking about having a real conversation about the business and getting people involved, touching base with them through the year. Okay, we're talking about writing this stuff off and we're having fun here, but like we're serious, like this is an actual meeting. You're gonna have an agenda, okay? But those minutes show, hey, court, judge, I treated this business like a separate business. I kept my bank accounts separate. I kept my expenses separate. I had actual minutes when I did my annual meeting. And that defeats this claim of them piercing the corporate veil, which means their lawsuit, if they win, gets stuck at the LLC and all your personal assets and other companies are not affected by it. So it's really this preventative measure we're doing to ensure asset protection in the event of a lawsuit.
And so cost effective. It's just funny how people want to run out and set up a Wyoming entity or some Rockefeller trust, or I'm going to set up all these elaborate structures. And they don't even do minutes on their basic LLC that owns the rent. Right. That's the front line. I've got to find a great metaphor to explain how ridiculous that is. But okay, number 3 reason here and benefit is IRS audit-proofing of your tax return. Because if you're a business owner, the IRS requires that you have what are called accountable provisions. These are provisions that you can attach to your tax return or document in your company minutes. And a lot of accountants are going to miss this, and especially if you're knocking out your return on TurboTax, you're not going to put in these provisions. So at Main Street Business Services, we make sure there's 6 or 7 different accountable provisions that are always included. For example, I want to write off my home office. Please reimburse me. I want to write off auto expenses of any board member or family member that's helping in the business. Please make that happen. Third, I want to write off any expense under $1,500 immediately without having to depreciate it. Boom, in. This is the de minimis accountable provision. So all of these little provisions need to be in your minutes. And if you get audited, the IRS, do you have this provision? It's not in your tax return. Yeah, it's right here in my minutes. Oh, done. If you don't have this provision on your tax return or in your minutes, they can disallow medical reimbursements, the home office, the auto, the write-off. This is serious. So we want to make sure that you don't have a problem with the IRS in an audit, and it's just a no-brainer. So that would be my number 3 reason. I just love knocking this out.
A lot of bang for your buck in that one. Because we're all trying to write off stuff that we can in the business, of course. The other thing that let's talk about here is, as an entrepreneur, sometimes it's lonely, as a small business owner, entrepreneur out there doing it. You may not have a big team or, this board of directors with these former CEOs or entrepreneurs that have been super successful. But what you do have is definitely some family members who are invested in your success, who are hearing about the struggles in your business. This could be the spouse or other family member or friends that are close to you. It's like having this meeting where it's a focused conversation, there's an agenda, and you're going to document this, gives us like some formality to it, and it shows the importance of what you're trying to do, the input that these family members can give to you. I think it creates this unity amongst your family and friends that are involved, that are cheering for you, that want you to succeed, and also an opportunity to get their input and get their insights. Sometimes we can get so down the rabbit hole in our own business, we don't see the forest through the trees, so to speak, and getting that input from those outside the business that see what we're doing, that know what we're up to, that understand our business, who our customers are, what the dynamics can be. It's nice to have a little formal conversation about that for the business.
Yeah, and we've kind of dissected, there's 2 points here. This first one I'm going to even add to with education. It's a chance to educate your children, adult or under age 18, whatever the case may be, to teach okay, everybody buckle up. I'm going to have you talk about something super uncomfortable in your board meeting. It's called money. You can talk about money as a family. It's okay. You can talk about debt. You can talk about how to make ends meet. You can talk about struggles you're going through. And maybe, just maybe, your family would appreciate hearing that so that they can learn from it and grow from it. It's because someday you may want to sell your business to them, or you may need their help.
Yeah.
So people, education, our kids do not hear us enough. For those of you who are parents out there, how many of us wish our parents would have talked about money a little bit more?
Yeah. So, and even like a budget, like going through, what's the budget for the business for this year? What's our estimated budget for next year? Them seeing like an income and expense thing is so important and valuable. I would love to have that conversation in a family business when I was younger to understand that, because they can apply it to their personal lives. And this leads to the next thing.
Can I add one last thing? You may think, well, my kids aren't going to want to do this. You will be shocked. I can get emotional, start telling some of these stories, but when you start to have this meeting, your kids, they freak out. They're like, oh my gosh, this is awesome. We've been wanting to have this conversation. I'm saying 9 out of 10 kids. Some of the kids are there, you're kicking and screaming, but all of our kids, and their spouses, we're going to have our next board to be probably 12 to 15 people. And grandkids are running around screaming and yelling, whatever, trying to get them quiet. But they're all anxious to have this meeting and learn. Your children are smarter than you realize, and they watch, and they need to hear this. So I think you'd be surprised. Now, the next one, I love where you're going, is this kind of planning. You kind of alluded to that. This can hold you accountable too.
Yeah. And I think like the business continuity here, like what is the future and long-term vision of the business? And when I'm having that family board meeting and my kids are exposed to it, they understand what's going on in the business, what we're doing well, what's working. Sometimes your family's working in the business. I mean, my kids have worked in my business part-time on and off throughout the years. I know Mark's have as well, like in a more formal role. But having that meeting is really important, because one thing we see, and we've been doing this a while now, we're the lawyers that have been put in the 10,000 hours, 20 years, we're going after this, helping clients across the country. Is there's a certain point where it's like, what am I doing with my small business? Is the next generation taking over? If it is, it's maybe one of my kids that's had a W-2 job somewhere that doesn't know what the hell my business even does. They've had zero exposure to it. They don't know what we make. They don't know what the challenges are. They don't understand who the typical customer is. They don't know how I'm marketing it. They don't know the service or product mix that I even have. But if you had the family board meeting and you're involving them in it, they might have more conversations when you're out on the golf course with them, when you're playing tennis, when you're like doing yoga, whatever your thing is. I don't care what it is. Like, you might actually be talking about the business because they know what questions they ask. You can have a conversation with them about them. And that is a nice thing, because it can help get them involved in the business, and it can solve one of the biggest challenges you're going to have, is this continuity planning and who's going to take it over.
Yeah, and oh my gosh, I love it. And the business continuity plan should be set forth in your estate plan. Heaven forbid you die sooner than later. We don't know when that moment's going to be, and we need to plan for it. And having conversations like this prepares your family too, because a lot of families, this is a weird thing too, with the Alt Asset Summit last weekend. And if any of you haven't watched the recordings of that yet, you can go to altassetsummit.com. We had a panel. And Matt, you said something really interesting. He was the moderator for it. He said, a lot of wealthy people don't like to talk about their wealth. Yeah. And there could be a lot of reasons for that, being modest or private and all that, get it. But we were able to get 3 individuals to come up on a panel and say, okay, we've built over $10 million Roth IRAs, and they were very sheepish. And Matt had to drag out examples out of them. But everybody in there was enthralled. They're like, please tell us how you've done this. And so I think, again, when we're able to open up and talk about our wealth and finances or whatever level of wealth it is, or even the mistakes we've made, the people on your board are going to see that as a strength and be able to be a better support to you.
Yeah, totally. Man.
Wow.
I'm just like, man, when is mine scheduled by year end? I got to get on this.
Now, I'm going to summarize the 7 here in one moment. I'll let Matt hit our last one, but I wanted to just say on this planning point, not just business continuation planning, but next year's planning. Like, what's the plan? And Matt alluded to budget too. And so you're going to have a moment where you're going to be teaching the family, unity and education on money, but then you're going to turn around and go, here's my plan. Now that's scary because you're going to tell someone what you plan to do. And when next time they see you, they're going to ask you how to go.
Yes.
And that's, sometimes you don't want to do that. I know, but it's going to hold you accountable. It's super important. Talk about your trifecta. Build your trifecta with one of our lawyers. You can do a tax comprehensive plan. The lawyers will build your trifecta in color. They are so freaking cool looking. Put it up on the board. Show the family. Look at my trifecta. Their eyes will be as big as saucers. And it's just so fun. So I just think there's so many ancillary benefits.
Yeah, and I think what we're trying to do here is, the wealthy, so to speak, have this institutional family office. And so many people have been like, oh, the family office of so-and-so.
Blah, 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 blah.
And like, this is what we're talking about here. This is turning into your family office, guys. Okay, your small business, main hustle, side hustle, rental property, whatever it is, there's different scales of this, of course, this is your family office. These conversations, the people in this board of directors meeting, some of our attorneys sometimes drop in on some of these board meetings. Yeah. They call in sometimes, of course, it's not the regular thing, but then you got to pay for that, of course. But if you have a bigger operation or stuff, like we can be participating in that too, or other advisors that may be involved in the business. The other thing here, and final point that I'll just say on this is, we have a company compliance service in Main Street Business Service. Because you might be overwhelmed by this. You might be like, oh my gosh, I got to be doing this, what these guys are talking about. But I don't know what to put in the minutes. Mark just talked about some accountable plan stuff. He threw out some tax code provisions and numbers and stuff. I'm like, I got to go back and watch this in the podcast. No, don't worry about it. Okay, this is included in the service. All right,
Yeah.
It's $200 a year for your entity. Now you're doing your board meeting. But we have also like sample agendas and stuff to help you through this stuff. I know, Mark, you've done like the printed agenda, for your family members where they showed up, where it's on the table. Everyone comes, they got their pens, right? I'm like, try to have some formality to this to like really make it stick of the importance of this. But we're here as a support for you. We do have a service for this in Main Street Business Services, whether you're using this or not. We want to just get you bought in on this concept, the importance of this for the business. It will help you save taxes. It'll protect your assets, but better than anything else in this, it'll help your business.
Yeah. And this company compliance component is the fact in at least over 43 states, you've got to pay an annual fee. You've got to fill out some piece of paper to stay in good standing or go on a website somewhere with the state. And companies get dissolved involuntarily all the time. Involuntarily means you didn't do what you were supposed to, so the state shut down your LLC. And clients come up and call us every day. We get a phone call. Can you get my LLC back up and running? What do I need to do? You need to do your compliance. You need to hold your minutes. And we walk you through it and we help you do it. $200.
And we do it for you. Yeah. And we track it. So you don't even need to do anything. We automatically do this for you, renew your entity with the state, and help you get your minutes done, of course.
So here's the 7 benefits. Then, Matt, you can take us out. Number 1, company compliance taken care of. The state knows that my entity is still in good standing. Check. Number 2, better asset protection, so that if I ever get into a lawsuit, I can produce my minutes and show the corporate veil. Check. Number 3, IRS audit-proofing. I'm going to have all the provisions I need for the IRS to make sure I can take advantage of any tax write-off for my small business. Check. Number 4, family unity, vision, education, bringing together everybody, even Uncle Eddie. Check. Number 5, I'm going to get a tax deduction for holding this dumb thing. I'm going to be able to take travel write-offs, Airbnbs, Ubers, food. All of it is a write-off. The day to get there, the day to hold it, and the day to send everybody home. All 3 days are a write-off for travel and dining purposes. Check. Number 6, the business continuation planning, making sure that the family knows what to do with the business or the real estate or the rentals or whatever the hell you're trying to build. You're documenting it, put it in your estate plan, and letting the family know your wishes to help them if something happens to you. Check. And finally, number 7, you're getting support. You're getting advice, and you're laying forth your plan and budget for the next year, and you're going to be held accountable for that. And your family's there to hopefully support you. Kick them off the board if you don't like them. The end. Check.
All right. Well, we got through that. The top 7 list here, why you need to have a family board meeting by year end. Think of this as your family office as you're building and growing this. If you found this helpful, please share it to that friend or family member that might be a business owner too. We think this is an incredible idea and concept, and we want to be a support to you. Hopefully these ideas are helpful to you. And please share the podcasts, subscribe if you haven't already, give us the thumbs up, 5-star review, whatever it is. If it's negative, maybe just go yell it outside. It's okay.
Let it out.
Just get it out.
Yeah.
If you thought this sucked, well, if you're still listening to this and you think this sucked, I think you liked it. You're still watching.
And you can get to mainstreetbusinessservices.com.
Main Street Business. Just Main Street Business.
Just mainstreetbusiness.com. That's right. We have all the URLs. But go mainstreetbusiness.com. Get over there. Sign up all your entities. Get it done. Off your plate. Taken care of. And we'll see you next week for another episode of the Main Street Business Podcast.